Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. In this video, I've got an exciting one for you. We're talking fantasy football sleepers 2020. 3 fantasy sleepers you must have for 2020 fantasy football. I can't wait to get into this list, including one guy here that is off everybody's radar and is in a great position to succeed. Let's get to the show. Welcome everybody, Joseph Robert. We're talking fantasy football sleepers as we are getting ready for the NFL Draft 2020. I'm excited about this week, guys. Ramping up. Fantasy football 2020 will be here before we know it. In this episode, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're talking 3 fantasy football sleeper must-haves, including one of them I'm excited to share with you that nobody's talking about. Now, I follow a couple Instagram pages here and there. I'm aware of what's going on in the industry, and nobody's talking about this guy. I haven't heard one guy mention this guy is going to be a potential boom-type player, but I want to make you aware of him because you could get this guy later, and he's got a ton of upside, so you want to consider him, okay? Before I get into that, guys, 16-round draft solution, get it below, the first ever and only, let me emphasize that, only video training. Guys, everything is going digital. You see how big Zoom is getting. You see how everybody's at home doing online training. I was the first guy that created and the only guy that created video training. Get rid of the draft kits. Get rid of the cheat sheets. Guys, scrap that. And I priced it so that everybody can have it. I want everybody to have access to 16 rounds for the best possible price and give you guys the most value and help you guys dominate your leagues. Again, get rid of the draft kits and cheat sheets. There is a link below, or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com to get it. All right, so let's talk about it. Also, smash your thumbs up below and leave a sleeper below that you really like this year. These are 3 that you must have. When I say must have, I mean I absolutely love them. First guy. Now, I might get some eye rolls here because, again, he didn't have the greatest season last year or the year before that. The guy I'm talking about here is David Johnson. I want to basically impose my will on this. I really want to push you guys to consider drafting David Johnson because I'm telling you, his ADP is going to be pretty low. The way that it's sitting now, everybody's sleeping on him. Believe me. Listen. Last year, Carlos Hyde sucks. He's not a good running back, okay? He had 245 attempts, 154-ish points. That's not good, guys. 150 points on 245 attempts. Unacceptable, 6 touchdowns. But let me tell you something. 245 attempts to Carlos Hyde, who did nothing with them. Duke Johnson came in, had 83 attempts, but that's not a bit of a concern, okay? Combined, they had 55 targets receiving. That's how many targets were thrown out to the running backs of the Houston Texans. David Johnson, I just watched an interview with him on the Houston Texans channel. He is super, super excited. I mean, this guy is ramped up. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He said, I got a chip on my shoulder. He said that he's always been doubted his entire life. I met him, and that's the same thing he said to me back in 2016 before he had his really big breakout year. So I'm looking at David Johnson for 2020, and I'm seeing a guy that's got a chip on his shoulder, that's really hungry, that's really excited to dominate. He's going to get the opportunity. Bill O'Brien believes in him. The Texans believe in him. And the beauty is they're going to line this guy up as a wide receiver with Hopkins gone. I'm telling you, he wants to be a 3-down workhorse. He said he wants to be a workhorse. Again, the Texans have given up a lot to get him, so David Johnson will eat. He's in a good opportunity to succeed, and I like him, and I think a lot of people are going to be sleeping on him. Where are you going to pick him up? I don't know. Depends on where the ADP falls. I'm going to have to wait till after the draft and basically put it all together. But I'm telling you, you're going to get him for a major value. And there's literally top 5, top 10 running back potential here because the talent is there. The upside is there. We've seen it. And you can't blame his misfortune last year on him. It was a coaching decision. Coaches told him they were riding the hot hand, according to what he says in the video that I just recently watched with him and talking to the Texans. Listen, guys. I'm excited about David Johnson. He is a sleeper you must have. And I'm telling you, I might even go second round on David Johnson because I do see the upside. You know, he could be, I want him to be a part of my 3-headed monster, my robust RB strategy in the first 3 rounds. A ton of upside. People will sleep on him. Okay, my second sleeper you must have. Now, I'm going to tell you guys why. I back everything up that I say. This guy's name is Deante Johnson. Yes, you know him. Now, listen. The upside is there with Deante Johnson. The problem last year was he had Hodges throwing the ball. He had Mason Rudolph throwing the ball. Guys, unacceptable, okay? he couldn't get much done. But considering how terrible the situation was, he finished 41st amongst wide receivers ahead of Juju, okay? 92 targets, 59 receptions, 5 touchdowns for 680 yards. Okay, that's not phenomenal. I get it. I understand, guys. But listen, the upside is there. Big Ben is coming back. Now, history serves me, right? I look at history. Now, check this out. In 2018, Big Ben made, let me repeat this, Big Ben made Antonio Brown and Juju top 10 receivers. Yes, he did. Pushing over 168 targets to Antonio Brown, 166 targets to Juju. That is a ton of volume. Listen, Antonio Brown finished with 1,297 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns. What does that tell me? It tells me, yes, Antonio Brown is great. We know that, but it tells me that Big Ben throws the ball a lot in the red zone, in and around the red zone, and he throws touchdowns to receivers. Okay, Juju ended up with 7 touchdowns, but more yardage, 1,426 yards, 166 targets. So 168 targets for Antonio Brown, 166 targets for Juju. What does that tell you? It tells you that Big Ben likes to throw the ball. Now, going into 2020 fantasy football, Big Ben should be back, should be healthy. I know he's grown his beard out now during this time off, but listen, I think he's still going to be back, and I understand he's older, but he's got 1, maybe 2 more solid years left in him before he retires. And he led the league in receiving yards passing yards amongst quarterbacks back in 2019, throwing 5,129 yards. This guy is a beast in regards to getting the ball out, getting the attempts out, and I'm telling you guys right now, Deante Johnson is a sleeper you must have that I would consider grabbing probably around, you can get him probably around after round 6 to like 10, depending on your league, how many people in your league, and how many people sleep on him. But I'm telling you guys, this guy has a ton of upside. I'm not sold on James Washington. Deante Johnson is the guy. Having 92 targets and 59 receptions, 5 touchdowns with Hodges and Rudolph, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Now you get him honed in, focused with Big Ben, a guy who made Antonio Brown and Juju both top 10 receivers back in 2018. I'm taking Deante Johnson all day, and this is another reason why I'm saying go robust RB early, get the 3 running backs that are workhorses, because there's only a select few of those guys that have the minimal committee. Okay, you get your Derrick Henry, David Johnson, Josh Jacobs, whoever you want, your Saquon Barkley's early, load up, because you're going to get a ton of wide receivers later. There's a ton of value, and it's such a deep NFL rookie draft class at wide receiver that you could probably get a plug-and-play wide receiver out of the draft that people are going to sleep on that won't see the opportunity. But you guys will, because you're going to get 16-round draft solution. I'm going to tell you guys who the sleepers and breakouts are. All right, so Deante Johnson is my number 2 sleeper must-have. All right, this one I'm excited about, and it is a bit of a roll of the dice. Now, a lot of people will agree with me, a lot of people may not agree with me, okay? This one is one of those kind of it's a sneaky sleeper. I want you guys to leave a comment after I tell you who this guy is, okay? When I tell you who this guy is, leave a comment below and let me know if you know the upside. Now, I'm doing this video before the draft, a couple days before the NFL draft. This could change right after the draft. I come back and redo this video all over again because the Rams could draft another running back. We don't know. They may have to add depth because all they got is Malcolm Brown and John Kelly. But the sleeper I'm talking about, the one that nobody else is talking about, is Darrell Henderson, okay? Now, if you look at his stats in college, had a phenomenal year. His last year there in Memphis, had a great year, okay? Showed that he is a workhorse-capable running back. And here's the thing, guys, okay? Here's the thing. Gurley is now gone, which means they just got rid of him without even thinking. Now, listen, they also got rid of Cooks, which means that they have to address the wide receiver position probably before the running back position. This draft is really going to solidify my reasoning on making him such a phenomenal sleeper is if they don't really go for a running back, or if they go for a running back later in like the 5th, 6th round of the NFL draft, that tells me that he's only there for depth. The running back they draft is there for depth, and that they believe in Darrell Henderson. Now, Darrell Henderson, again, nothing to get excited about last year. Only had 13 games, 39 attempts. Listen, let's not look at last year's stats, but let's take a look at opportunity. And opportunity is telling me that the Rams do possibly believe in Darrell Henderson. As it sits right now, by the time of this recording, April 19th, they have not acquired another running back off free agency. They are believing in him, and they got rid of Todd Gurley without even flinching. So So the appeal is there, guys. That is what I'm trying to tell you about Darrell Henderson. Love the upside. If he is the workhorse running back, you are looking at least 900 yards, at least 8 to 10 touchdowns, and a guy that you can get super late that I think a lot of people will sleep on. Now, he may rise up the ranks after the NFL draft when people realize that he is the workhorse. I understand that. But as of right now, everybody's sleeping on him. So if you are doing a draft earlier, make sure you consider him. Now, I'm not saying draft Darrell Henderson as a guy who is going to be your RB2. I'm saying you get this guy as a late round stash, mid to late round stash, and add depth. Make him your RB4 on your team. Add some depth, right? You cannot have enough depth at the running back position. I'm telling you guys, this is what you need to do. So Darrell Henderson is a sleeper that I think everybody's sleeping on. He's a genuinely real sleeper, and I think there's a ton of upside. Again, I think the Rams believe in him. I think they got rid of Todd Gurley with confidence, knowing they have some talent in Darrell Henderson. And again, he workhorse in college last season. He played, and I'm really excited about him. And again, the depth there, Malcolm Brown, John Kelly, like, come on. Years to wow me. I'm not wild with those guys. Darrell Henderson is my third sleeper you must have. So there you have it, guys. David Johnson, I think a lot of people will sleep on him because his performance wasn't good last year. He will outperform Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook, in my opinion. Dalvin Cook will get hurt. Nick Chubb, in my opinion, it's going to be a split committee there with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt getting more of the volume in PPR. So everyone telling you David Johnson's not in the top 25 is insane because the upside of the opportunity is there. Why wouldn't you draft a running back that's set to get a ton of volume, a talented running back that's been proven in the past to succeed, and that a team gave up a lot to get? So David Johnson is my one sleeper you must have. Number 2, Deante Johnson. I explained it, a ton of opportunities, Big Ben coming back. This guy could emerge even as the wide receiver 1, believe it or not, especially if Juju's seeing double coverage. He could struggle there. And then you've got Darrell Henderson, who is in a prime opportunity as it sits today to really succeed. There you have it, guys. Fantasy Football Sleepers 2020. Guys, you must have. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Smash the thumbs up and get the 16-round draft solution available at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com or a link below. Thanks for being here. We'll talk soon.